You're tuned in to Oilers Nation every day with Tyler Yaremchuk, live every weekday on the Nation Network YouTube.
Yesterday, I heard someone say that it was a lock the Oilers would light up Pyotr Kochev. I forget who it was. Someone was really adamant, though, that the Oilers were going to steamroll the Hurricanes because their third-string goalie was in net. When I remember who it was, I'll let you know. Let's get into that debacle last night with the lead. That sucked. That was just terrible. Welcome into Oilers Nation Everyday. Coming to you live from the Sports Closet studio, sportscloset.ca. Christmas is just around the corner. If you need some gift advice, or if you're looking for some gift inspiration, I should say, head over to sportscloset.ca for the sports fan in your life. They got gift cards as well. 3 locations in the Edmonton area: Kingsway, St. Albert, and Sherwood Park Mall. All right. That was not fun last night. The Oilers fall 7-2 to the Carolina Hurricanes. They got absolutely worked. No other way to put it. That was terrible. That was unacceptable. There were so many things about that hockey game that were just flat out not good enough. Andrei Svechnikov has now lit up the Oilers for 2 hat tricks in 2 games this year. I believe they're the only 2 hat tricks of his career. It's just not good. I want to get all of your takes on it as well. We are live on the Oilers Nation Facebook, Oilers Nation Twitter, and on the Nation Network YouTube channel, where I see the chat is slowly waking up. I see my guy Baggedmilk is going to join us in a couple of minutes as well. That's what's coming up on the show today. Electronic Jordan, Tyler, thank you for the poppy. Classy. Yes, it is Remembrance Day. So, as you should have at around 11 o'clock throughout the whole day. Make sure you take some time to remember those who fought for our freedom as well. Let's talk about this hockey game. There's so many things that made me mad about last night. I'm going to talk about them all, but first, the lead today is Jack Campbell. It can't keep happening. These numbers are terrible. These are inexcusable if you were playing beer league hockey. They need more from Campbell. And you all know that. The numbers are they're horrifying. I tweeted this out yesterday. My back of the napkin math led me to this. He's got an .872 save percentage right now. In order for him to get back to a .900, he would need to stop his next 83 shots. And that's just to get back to a .900. That's just to get to a number that isn't absolutely putrid. If he wants to get back to a .910, which I think a lot of us would agree at the beginning of the year, that would have been a number that would have been the minimum acceptable number for Campbell. He would need to stop roughly 130 consecutive shots. This guy would have to pitch pretty much 4-5 straight shutouts. It's insanity. Last night, he is not the only reason they lost, but damn it, he's close to the top. And why the Oilers felt the need to keep forcing him back into action when he was struggling earlier in the year, I think those mistakes really, really affected his confidence. He's a guy, the word on him in Toronto is that, a lot of his struggles were between the ears. Him being hurt last year, Frank Saravalli pointed out the timing of that. It was while he was struggling. And there was a lot going on behind the scenes with Campbell and his confidence last season. And he can sit there and come out and call his play pathetic and all of that stuff. But at some point, he's just got to play better. I don't care if you feel bad. You need to play better. And he's clearly not going to play better. That game against Tampa Bay was the anomaly. So stop playing him. The team in front of him was not good. But at the end of the day, 2 or 3 of those goals should not have gone in. Dr. Gonzo, Campbell just looks tiny in net. 0 confidence. 100%. There is nothing in the confidence meter in this guy. I want to talk about some numbers here with Campbell as well, because I did do a little bit of research as you get a look at the goal that put them up 1-0. I got more takes on that goal as well. We are going to circle back to a few of these goals. There have been 31 goalies in the NHL who have played 300 plus 5-on-5 minutes. I'm going to take the penalty kill numbers out of it for Campbell's sake, because the penalty kill has been atrocious for most of the season as well. 5-on-5 numbers. Out of the 31 goalies to play 300 plus minutes, Campbell is 30th in save percentage. He is 30th in goals saved above average. He's 25th in high danger saves per 60. He's 21st in high danger shots against per 60. This guy isn't even facing a ton of high danger rubber. He's 27th in high danger save percentage. He's not making the shots he's supposed to, 30th in goals saved above average. He's not making the stops that the team sometimes just needs him to make. The one area where the Oilers need to be better is in their rush attempts. 12th in rush attempts against amongst all those goalies, the 31 of them that have played 300 plus minutes at 5-on-5. Okay, sure. But the rush attempts aren't what's killing him. 9th in rebound attempts against. Could the Oilers do a better job of clearing it out in front of him? Sure. Jack Campbell, I mean, just off the top of my head, let's think about the bad rebound goals. The first goal against Nashville in that game, Ekholm, brutal rebound control. Against Calgary, the game he got pulled, there was a couple brutal rebound goals in that one. Against Washington, there was a brutal rebound goal, if I remember correctly. Okay, that's on him. That's not on the team in front of him necessarily. So far this season, he's started 10 games. 4 of them, he's had a save percentage under .840. Compared to last season, he had 8 starts of under .840. 8 out of 47. He's already at 4. We're only at the 10-game mark. And a lot of people, and I got this on Twitter, I got this in my DMs, were saying, this is who Jack Campbell is. This is who the Oilers signed. This is who he was in Toronto. And it really wasn't. He struggled with his confidence, yes. But he only had 8 starts under .840 and 47 starts. 8 out of 47. He was better. Look at those numbers last year. 264, 914. The year before that, he started 22 games or played in 22 games. 215, 921. He's been a better goalie than this in the past. He has 5 starts under 900 so far this year, or 5 appearances under 900. Last year, 17 out of 47. Okay? Worse. The percentages are worse. Last year, in 24 of his 47 starts, he was 925 or better. In over half his starts, he gave his team a really damn good chance to win hockey games. This year, he's only done that in 2 of 10. And they lost one of them to St. Louis. 2 of 10. Every other game has been 925 or worse. It's just not good enough. And he's a better goalie than this. And he's going to figure it out at some point. I'm confident in that. But for right now, it's Stu's net. And I do not understand how you can look at the schedule ahead. It's Florida Saturday. And then you get LA and Vegas next week. How do you almost not go Skinner for a week straight and say, Campbell, we're giving you a week of practice time to figure this out? I don't even think that's an over-exaggeration at this point. Maybe that hurts his confidence a little bit, but I think you got to give him a full week off. He can start when they're done the next homestand. Got to be Skinner for the next 2 or 3 games at least. Let's bring in my boy Liam Horrobin. Liam, is that an overreaction for me? No Campbell for the next week?
No, he's not earned it. Like, at the end of the day, you look at some of the goals that were allowed, and you have 2 with less than 5 seconds left in the period. Like, team in front of them, whatever. Like, he needs to be in positions to be stopping those ones. And then you look at the one like Jordan Martin gets, Jesper Fast gets. It's just like, man, this guy just isn't helping himself. And then you get another one with the glove that goes right through him. It's like, you mentioned the confidence getting lower. It's like, I don't know if it can get any lower. Like, does he have any left? Like, the Oilers got to start winning games, and they got to start winning them with a goalie that's going to win them these games. And it's Stuart Skinner at the moment. It's similar to last season where Skinner was probably the best goalie during a stretch, and the Oilers just didn't play him, and we can't afford to do that again before we get too far back. Luckily, our division isn't the strongest in the league, so we're still being able to stay patted in there. And I know it's early in the season, but also, like, you can't just have these bad stretches and expect to go and win the Stanley Cup. We know there's a lot of flaws with this team, but the goaltending wasn't supposed to be one of them, and it's the one that's screaming at everybody right now.
Yeah. They are 4th in points percentage in the Pacific Division right now, 16 points in 15 games. LA, Seattle, Vegas, all ahead of them. Calgary is behind them. They can't find a win right now to save their life, just 2 in their last 10. As a whole, the Oilers are still 6-4 in their last 10 games. That's not that bad. But last night, there were a lot of really, really concerning signs in that hockey game. I want to start with the first goal. We played it right off the jump there. Campbell goes out to play it. It goes into the corner. No one's there. That's probably a situation where they're missing Mike Smith a little bit. Connor McDavid's going to get the puck out of the corner and just doesn't skate hard. 25 seconds to go in the period. He decides to kind of engage with Teravainen. He gets bumped off the puck, loses it, misses his check. Tyson Barrie, good Lord, don't know what he was doing back of the net. That's one that's not necessarily on Campbell. He could have played the puck better. Under 30 seconds to go, though. Connor McDavid's allowed to make mistakes, so I'm not going to like pile on him. He scored another beauty last night, still at a goal per game, whatever. But like, again, if you want to beat good teams, those are the little mistakes you can't make. You skate hard to that puck, you pick it up, you fling it out to the neutral zone, you're out of the period, right? Period goes on. The next goal that went in was the Brent Burns power play goal. Probably shouldn't have been a power play goal because that call on Derek Ryan was atrocious. That totally goes against the spirit of puck over glass, but they call it. I actually didn't like this goal from Campbell. It's excusable, but if you watch the replay again, he drops his pad right as Natchez is passing it, almost like he was reading a shot from Natchez when it clearly wasn't. He almost got across. I would argue he would have got across if he made a better read there. So I didn't like that goal from Campbell actually all that much. But whatever, it's a power play goal against. The Oilers are down 2-0. They get back in it thanks to Zach Hyman and a bit of a lucky break on the power play. McDavid and Draisaitl both picking up power play points on that goal for the love of the game, if you know what I'm saying. And then the goal to go down 3-1 can't happen. Like an NHL goalie, he just did this against Dallas. And Svechnikov has a good shot, but that wasn't a good shot. You just got to hold on to it. And yeah, okay, he looks at his glove. I mean, Jack, we're all looking at your glove, man. And those are the ones that you know are just killing his confidence. And I see people in the chat saying they feel for him. McKay says, I genuinely feel bad for Soup. I do too. I really do. But man, like that look at the glove, people were talking, and I know Chris Pronger said this on the broadcast, like, oh, if you were a defenseman in the room, Pronger said it would drive him nuts when a guy is saying his play's pathetic or his goalie is saying that. To me, him looking at his glove would drive me even crazier than that. So that wasn't a great one on Soup. Y'all know that. And then the fourth goal, again, Stanley Cup caliber teams, which the Oilers are trying to be, you get that puck deep, you don't do that. And it's Dylan Holloway. He's starting to make a bit of a habit of these. That's fine. I said yesterday, I want him to be able to play through these mistakes, and I mean that. It's okay. But when the rookie makes a mistake, someone's got to cover up for it, right? There's 5 seconds left in the period. How do you not survive that? It's a turnover. It's going the other way. I get you maybe have a chance to score here, right? Hyman makes a nice pass. Holloway just rolls off his stick, and instead of just skating into it, he tries to force a pass to Draisaitl. It goes back the other way, and Jack Campbell you need a save there. I didn't think that was the most egregious of the 4 goals, but it was bad. And good teams just don't give up goals that late in the period in those kind of situations. You're going the other way with like 7 seconds left. You need to get out of that period. So there's a bunch of reasons that game was frustrating. McDavid had a goal. Yes, he wasn't at his best. I didn't think any of the Oilers had a good game in the D zone. Plenty of turnovers. Couldn't execute a zone exit to save their life. Dangerous Wade. We need to show Campbell how defeated Tyler looks. Look what you're doing to Tyler. I know. Like it's tough to watch him play right now, and I feel really, really bad for the guy, but we need to sit here and talk about it. It's without a doubt the biggest story around this team. The other thing that drove me nuts about that game yesterday, I didn't even think Jay Woodcroft had a good game, for what it's worth. There was a shift in the second period where the Oilers started to really turn things around. McDavid, Puljujarvi, and Nugent Hopkins had an unbelievable shift. Carolina was scrambling, couldn't get the puck, and Edmonton does all right, we're gonna switch lines. We're gonna get a full line change in while we have them hemmed in. You go to a skill line in that situation. Instead, it was Shore, Fogle, and someone else. We got a poll in the chat, by the way. So have a vote on there. It was Fogle, Shore, and someone else that came over the boards in that situation. And momentum was zapped immediately. Turnover. I thought Devin Shore had a brutal game yesterday too. Turnover, gone the other way. Edmonton didn't get momentum back in the second period. You go to even if they're a little tired, you have Carolina hemmed. You need to score or draw a penalty in that shift. And to go to the fourth line is it wasn't the right play. And it cost them a chance to keep generating momentum. At the end of the day, they didn't play good enough to win. It's not all on Jack Campbell. It's not all on that one decision from Woodcroft. It's not all on the turnover from Holloway. It's not all on Connor McDavid's play in the first period. It's not all on Tyson Barrie losing his guy back door. But damn it, 5 things. It's death by 1,000 cuts. And that's the irritating thing with this hockey team, you know? Liam, I want to bring you back for another second here. Is there anything else from last night that I missed? Is there anything I didn't go over?
I think we covered a lot of the bases. It's just, do you know what the frustrating part is? We just saw them put together a really good performance against Carolina. What was that? 2 weeks ago. And now this team
Yeah.
looks 100% different. Like the consistency of this roster right now, I think, is the most frustrating thing in all departments. Like we put together a really good game against Tampa Bay, good defensive, responsible game. Jack Campbell plays really well. The Oilers play well in front of him. They win a tight game. You go into Carolina with the advantage of a full day off, not having to deal with a literal hurricane, and also
Yep.
being defeated the night before 3-0 on the road in Florida, to just come out and do that. And there's just too many back-breaking moments for this team right now. Every single game, it's something, and it's just like, it's rinse and repeat, it feels like. Conceding too many goals, conceding goals at bad times. The coaching thing, unfortunately, it's been something that's happened numerous times this season. Like the New Jersey one is a good example of the Niemelainen pairing going out there. And it's just like, come on, like, what are we doing? We got to figure this out. Campbell starting over and over again when we have one of the hottest goalies in the league. And I think collectively, the Oilers just need to look at themselves in the mirror. I think tomorrow is going to be a very interesting game. They're going to have to find a way to do something. It surely can't get worse. But man, like, it's demoralizing right now because we had such high expectations for this team. We knew the flaws were probably going to be defensively, but I don't think any of us truly thought it was going to be this bad this early in the season.
Yeah. You know what's going to happen, though, tomorrow, right? They're going to play great against Florida. Florida's getting chucked back.
I was going to say, and we're going to come in here on Monday and talk about how great they were, and then whoever they play next, it's just such a roller coaster right now. I just love them to find some consistency, and the injuries aren't helping them at all. Obviously, Kane, with the news that he's going to be out for a while. Yamamoto's back in Edmonton. Like, this lineup just got a lot worse in this past 3 days.
Yeah. All right. I want to get into a few things in the chat. We'll do that in a minute here, or coming up towards the end of the show. If you're watching on YouTube, hammer that like button for me. You know how it goes. But I want to bring in my boy Baggedmilk because it's Friday, so you know what that means. Do we have the transition? There you go.
It's Friday, so you know what that means? It's time for the Bro Down with Baggedmilk.
Baggedmilk, it is the story of the day, my guy. What do you do with Jack Campbell?
I mean, like, I honestly feel bad even participating in this because he's turning into a whipping boy, and I'm not really interested in piling on. The guy's not played well. We all know it, but I just heard you drive a bus over him for 15 minutes. So, like, what else do I need to say? He had a terrible game, but at the same point, everybody did. I don't think there was one Oiler that can look themselves in the mirror last night and say, you know what, I played all right. No, you sucked. All of you sucked. The giveaways were terrible in the defensive zone. The defense as a whole was terrible. The 5-man defensive unit as a whole was terrible. There were giveaways aplenty. There were shots that went in the net that shouldn't have. There were penalties that were ridiculous. There was just an amalgamation of terrible play by all 18 guys plus the goalie. And it's just, I refuse to single out Jack Campbell in that game, even though he was really bad. It's just, there's no point in it. You look at the Nation networks, you look at Oilers Nations, I should say, any of our posts on social media, and people are saying this is the worst thing ever. And it's not. The reality is, we had this exact same thing a bunch of times with Mike Smith and Mikko Koskinen. So I don't know why this is so shocking that sometimes goalies have really bad runs. And the problem is with Campbell, he's a new guy that signed a 5x5. The pressure is on, and now he's turning into a whipping boy situation. I'm just not really interested in participating in that. Look at the comments on our Instagram page right now, and people are completely unhinged. Last night in the Beatcast, completely unhinged. And there's no point in this to me. The guy knows he played bad. Anybody watching that game knows he played bad. So what is the point of just going on and on about this? He's going to get back in the net. So everybody who says never play him again is a fucking idiot. Everybody knows that Stuart Skinner's the better of the two goalies. So let's just see what happens. But at the same point, I'm looking at Stuart Skinner's numbers. He's had 3 games in his last 5 starts that have not been very good. So we better hope he can dial it in for the next little bit, or else we've got way bigger problems. And all of a sudden, we're depending on a kid who is a rookie to solve our goaltending issues. That is itself a massive gamble. So the reality is we need both goalies going. I don't know how to get there, but just piling on and just expecting Stuart Skinner to walk in as the default answer, I don't know. I don't really buy it. He's the better option. Tomorrow he's going to get the net, and deservedly so, in Florida. He should probably even play regardless of what happens tomorrow on Wednesday against LA. But if we're going to just think that Jack Campbell's not going to play anymore and just be like, oh, he'll just practice his way out of it. It doesn't work that way. Doesn't work that way. The guy has no confidence right now. And if you think the answer to solving that problem is just keeping him away from his job and saying, oh, no, you'll play when you're good in practice, like, it's ridiculous. Nobody does that. And nobody's going to do it here. There's no help coming. There's no goalie trade coming. He has to work through it.
I agree that he has to work through it to some extent, but like my point was, I think you can give him a week for a hard reset here and just say, hey, don't worry about playing games. Don't worry about a game on home ice against Vegas next Saturday or something like that. I think giving him a week to just kind of mentally reset might be actually the best thing for him, though.
But what in the Oilers' history of ever dealing with goalies that are cold leads you to believe that's going to happen?
Well, yeah, I'm not saying it is going to happen, and whatever. I'm still confident. Like, I rattled off part of the reason I went on that big thing was to show there's a lot of people who are saying this is the goalie he was in Toronto. And he was a really damn good goalie in Toronto. And the people, yeah, he was a little inconsistent, but like his numbers as a whole were always solid. So I know you said I drove the bus over him. I like to think I just pointed out just how miserable this start has been. I'm also pointing out he can go up. Like, his numbers will get better. He will give the Oilers good starts at some point. So I agree. The people who are sitting here saying trade him, waive him, whatever, that's a little unhinged and it's a little unnecessary.
Well, anyways. Yeah, and it's just like, oh, I saw it last night in the BCast. Oh, bring back Mike Smith. You need Mike Smith. Well, I'm looking at Mike Smith's numbers from the beginning of last season. 733, 806, 805, 724, 728, 429. Like, what are we talking about? Is our memory that short that we just forgot how last season started? It's ridiculous.
What game was 429?
429 against Minnesota. He played for a grand total of 13 minutes.
You do forget how miserable some nights were with Mike Smith as well. So you're passionate about defending Jack Campbell. So I'm just going to go ahead and assume.
It's not even that. It's not even that. It's just like, I just don't understand the point of piling on, because we talk about the confidence that this guy is battling right now. In what universe is saying he's the worst fucking goalie of all time going to help with anything? It's not.
So you don't want to hear his buyout numbers?
Anybody who's talking about his buyout numbers right now, you need to go outside and you need to make a snowman or a snow angel or do anything other than thinking about hockey, because that is just the dumbest possible solution ever. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Well, we'll hit on it. Liam, we'll hit on it in our personal time then. All right, buddy? All right. We are going to move away from the goaltending conversation for your own sanity, Baggedmilk. I don't want you to have to talk about it anymore because I know you don't want to. So let's talk about the top
I know
6.
I'm going to do it in Oilers Nation Radio. We're going to do it an hour on Oilers Nation Radio anyway.
Yeah, I know. Top 6. What would you do tomorrow? For me, boy. I'm willing to forgive the Holloway mistake because I actually think he had a pretty good game outside of that. Drew a penalty shot. That's kind of cool.
But like, I would also at the same point though, Tyler, at the same point though, I'm not just being devil's advocate here. How many blatant giveaways that lead to goals is Dylan Holloway allowed to have, and nobody says a word about it?
He's a rookie.
It's just fine because I like the guy and I'm not mad at him right now. But let's ignore those and focus on everybody else's. It's just, I don't know what you do, because you need him here at this point. Because like Liam said before I came on, this Oilers roster right now today looks nothing like it did 3 days ago. And it's a problem. It is a real problem. Yamamoto's back home. Kane, I'm watching him right now talk to the media in Florida. His arm is just all basically bandaged up and immobilized. He's not going to play for ages. What are we going to do? We need guys that need to step up, and we need them to do it in a hurry. I'm looking at Warren Fogle. Bro, you've been playing better lately. Huge goal against Tampa Bay. Need more from you. Yes, Puljujärvi. My boy Zach, you can defend him with the underlying numbers all you want. 2 points in 15 games. That ain't going to do it if you're playing with McDavid. We need a bunch of guys stepping up all over the lineup, or this next run is going to be ugly. It can't just be Connor and Leon and Nuge, and then to lesser extents from there. Other guys need to chip in, and there's a lot of salary on this roster right now that they are not doing anything of value on the offensive side of the puck outside of maybe some positives on the spreadsheets. But you know what? Spreadsheets ain't going to beat Florida tomorrow. It's just not. We need goals. We need points. We need guys who can chip in with some offense. And I'm pointing fingers at a whole lot of people right now because there's a lot of guys on this roster that need to be better.
Yeah, there is. So again, to go back to the top 6 question, you're right. You need Dylan Holloway. Like, I just look at this team right now and I go, there's no one else who is worthy of a top 6 spot. Like, there's not. It sucks.
There's not. And it's God bless him. The kid needs a little bit of confidence. I bet, you know what, if he scored on that penalty shot last night, he would have been out there buzzing for the rest of the game. That didn't go in. Little turnover. Campbell can't bail him out. You covered that already. It's just like everything that could have gone wrong last night did go wrong, and it was arguably the worst game of the season to watch.
Your boy Dukes says time to bring back Yakupov. Eh?
Well, it is time for that. I agree. I agree. Can't get any weirder or worse.
At the same time, like, you know, and Liam and I joked about this before we brought you on. They're going to play unreal tomorrow. You know it's coming. They're going to win like 4-2 tomorrow against Florida in a game that they probably have no business winning. And then we're going to sit there on Monday and be like, it's all good.
I mean, that wouldn't surprise me at all. It's like last night, Tyler, you need to start listening to me. When I saw a third string goalie in last night, I'm like, well, guaranteed loss night. Nobody buys what I'm saying, but I am 100% buying what you're selling because I also felt the same way against Tampa Bay in the second half of the back-to-back set. They found a way to grind out that win. They found a way to get the saves they needed. Jack Campbell actually looked like a starting goalie. Players were playing defensively. And then 2 nights later, everyone is terrible. And I'm expecting tomorrow it's going to be like, wow, this Oilers team is absolutely rolling, even though they're missing everybody. They're doing it for the boys. The collective's great. We're all having a good time. And then who knows what's going to happen. This team is so inconsistent. It's driving me insane.
Yeah. We do have a new episode of Oilers Nation Radio coming up at 1:30 today. If you're a Blue Jays fan, I'm also doing a new episode of BJN Radio later this afternoon. Are you at all scared they might trade Bo Bichette Baggedmilk?
Well, I saw that today. Like, what is that? Like, where did that come from?
I don't know. It was just a thing from John Morosi that was like, the Jays, they might be itching to make a big move. Maybe they go sign a new shortstop who they think is better defensively, and then they go out and, trade Bo Bichette for maybe like a Ronald Acuna Jr. It'd be really interesting. Okay, before I let you go, I don't know why I brought up the Blue Jays. That's on my mind right now. But our boy Bob Stauffer has the lines at practice today. So we do know how they will likely line up tomorrow. McDavid with Nugent Puljujärvi. Holloway with Draisaitl and Hyman. Okay, there's our answer. They're going to keep running it back with Holloway. I don't hate that plan. Give the rookie some runway here.
Who else are you going to put there?
New look third line. Ryan McLeod with Warren Fogle. And the answer, Klim Kostin.
I hope so, man. Like, we need something good happening. He's a big body. He can throw his weight around. He's gotten some scraps in his career. He's had a little bit of offensive touch, not at the NHL level. Maybe he can chip in. Again, this guy's 6'3", 215. At least that's what he's listed at. So he's going to add some size into the lineup. I have no idea what kind of player he is. I'm not going to pretend like I've watched him a bunch, but we're going to need some of these guys to step up. They've got players that have got a major opportunity to step into some big minute roles, and they need to take advantage of it. It's just as simple as that. You can't just go out there and coast because you're the new guy. Like, did you notice Matthias Janmark last night?
I took a penalty.
Like, you need to do more than take a penalty. You need to chip in positively somehow.
Yeah. So it looks like they're I wouldn't be surprised if they go 12-6 tomorrow with Janmark, Shore, and Ryan as the fourth line there, as Bob listed, Skinner listed as the starter, and Murray Niemelainen rotating in and out with Tyson Barrie. Going back to the Nurse, CC, Kulak, Bouchard thing, I don't even, like, people in the chat want to jump on Bouchard. People in the chat want to jump on Barrie. People always want to rip on Nurse. None of their blue line is playing good right now. Like, Kulak
Everybody was
has
bad
been
last
okay.
night.
Yeah,
Passable.
everyone sucked.
But I would look at, like, last night. I'm thinking of the Svechnikov hat-trick goal last night, right? And how legitimately, I believe Campbell made a really nice first save on that, but then the rebound's just laying there near the side of the net. And rather than clearing the puck out of there, Devin Shore pops himself in the crease and starts to play goalie, gets down in almost a butterfly stance. Like, what are you doing, bro? Knock someone down. Nobody is playing defense right now, and it is completely frustrating me. It is so annoying. So is this defensive grouping going to solve things? I don't know. I mean, Ryan Murray doesn't even have his tan anymore, Tyler.
Oh, I know. That was sad. We are reaching the point in the chat where people are wondering if maybe Oscar Klefbom can come back. Oh.
Yeah, why not? Maybe bring back Corey Cross, too, and Chris Pronger comes back for another tour duty. Why not?
Why not? In the YouTube chat, we are getting so close to reaching 100 live viewers. So if you can do me a favor, hammer that like button right now. Let's see if we can get this thing up to 100. The last thing, Baggedmilk, I just want to throw this your way. Yesterday on Real Life, I was adamant that you cannot do the Kucherov thing with Evander Kane because I just didn't think it was realistic. This tweet from Daniel Nugent-Bowman. Evander Kane is back with the Oilers and in good spirits. The skate cut went down to the bone. His wrist is immobilized. You know what? I think he might be out till the playoffs. I'm starting to think it just might make a little bit of sense.
It's like I'm looking forward to actually reading DNB's piece when he puts out the full details, because then I think we're gonna have an idea of just how bad that is. Because, like, I was thinking about it after the incident happened, and Patty Maroon's a big dude, right? He's like 225 or something like that, stepping full down on a guy's arm with these skates that are just basically razor blades these days. That is gonna take a minute. It's not looking good. And the important part, I think, is that the important part, obviously, is that Evander Kane's okay. But I think this one's going to be intense. Even when his wrist is starting to get mobilized again, he needs to build up the strength in it. He needs to find a way to shoot again. This is not an easy injury to get over by any means.
Not at all. Thanks for giving me some time today. We went really long, so I appreciate it.
Away she goes.
All right, we'll get to the wrap here, and me and Baggedmilk will be back with Oilers Nation Radio, and Liam, and Dan, and Coombsy will be there. Oilers Nation Radio later this afternoon. Now let's get to the wrap. Okay, I will get to some comments in the chat. We'll get to our daily bets as well, but a couple of news and notes things from around the NHL. This from Frank Saravalli. The NHL and the NHLPA have punted on playing a World Cup of Hockey in February of 2024, saying the current environment is not feasible to hold the tournament. 2025 is now their new target for when the next time we'll see best on best hockey in the NHL. So that's a little bit disappointing. I mean, I just saw Stephen Ellis tweeted this. McDavid, Matthews, and Eichel will all be nearing their 10th season in the NHL without any best-on-best competition between the three of them, really. So a damn shame there. It's Hall of Fame weekend in the NHL. Luongo, the Sedin twins, and Daniel Alfredsson are the notable NHLers going to the Hall. Zach Werenski is going to be out for the season for the Columbus Blue Jackets. That is leading to a lot of photoshops of Connor Bedard in a Blue Jackets jersey as well. If you're wondering, if the Blue Jackets fall out of the race, is there anyone there maybe the Oilers could poach? Not really in their forward group. Not a lot of good fits there. A lot of the guys you probably would like a Boone Jenner. He's signed long-term. He's not going anywhere. But on the blue line, I would just stick a pin in this one. It's a watch list kind of thing. Vladislav Gavrikov, 26 years old, big Russian D-man, UFA at the end of the season, making only $2.8 million. If the Oilers are going to try to sneak in and just get a third-pairing D-man, left shot at the deadline, Vladislav Gavrikov is a name to keep in mind. All right, let's dig into the chat here and see what you're all... okay, Klefbom, he's not coming back. At this point, if you're someone who throws out there, could Clefbaum be back after the deadline or in the playoffs? You're not paying attention to a lot of what's going on. McKay says Bush is abysmal defensively as of late. A lot of bad turnovers, a ton of really, really bad turnovers. Nurse has had bad turnovers. Barry's had bad turnovers. Sometimes I think people are just jumping on Bouchard because he's young and they get extra frustrated with him. But it's one of those things. He's a young defenseman. He'll go through tough patches. Again, I'm willing to cut guys like Bouchard and Holloway a little bit of slack just because of how young they are. Like, you want to give those guys a chance to work through their issues a little bit, you know? Squishies for breakfast. Kane might never be the same. He has a big hill to climb. Like, yeah, I mean, you hear that. I mean, the fact it was cut down to the bone, like, there's a legitimate chance that takes him a long, like, north of 4 months to recover from, although I'm not a doctor. It might take a minute. Jason says McDavid's prime being wasted. No, it's not. Like, come on. The Oilers went to the Final Four last year. They were 8 wins away from the Stanley Cup, closer than 28 other teams were last season. So not exactly wasted. That's a little bit of an insane comment. Everyone has had bad turnovers. Yeah. And Rusty says Dry and McDavid included. Everyone was bad last night. There was not one Oiler who I thought had an overwhelmingly positive game. Jackson says, what's with the stretch passes? Like 30 of them last night. There's no way Woodcroft is telling him to break out like that. Yeah. Again, like, it was just sloppy. They could not get anything going. I think when the Oilers are humming at 100%, a big part of that is the stretch passes, is being able to attack teams quickly off the rush and hit them with that element. But when it's not working, it can be really, really bad. It can result in a lot of icings, a lot of turnovers, and things like that. So let's bring in Liam here and get to our Betway Bets of the day. Liam, how'd you do last night, and what do you got on the slate tonight?
Last night, I am sad to announce I went 0-2 for the first time since the first week of this show. So we've had a good run, but all good things must come to an end. And tonight we will restart that streak with an Austin Matthews goal. Minus 106.
I like it.
We spoke about it, what was it, last week, where we were like, if you can get this guy anywhere close to even money, you've kind of got to take it. I know he missed in his last 2 games, but he also had like 5 and 3 not so long ago, like right before that 2-game stretch. So
yeah,
say what you want. He's the best goal scorer in the NHL. He's going to find a net on any given night. You never really know. So if you can get him close to even money, you got to take the jump. The other one, Erik Karlsson, one of the hottest players in the league. There's only 4 games in the NHL tonight, so there wasn't a ton to pick from. So Karlsson's scoring a lot more than he has in the last few years. Minus 150, I know it's not the biggest payout, but it almost feels very lock-worthy. So, you know what? There you go.
Jake Ottinger back for the Stars, though.
That's okay. Erik Karlsson can beat anyone, I believe, especially tonight.
All right. My bets of the day, I got a couple of shot props I really like. I've been pretty good with my shot props recently. Timo Meier over 4.5 is a great spot. Nikita Kucherov over 3.5 is a great spot as well. And I like taking the Dallas Stars plus 115 on the puck line this evening against the San Jose Sharks. San Jose, second of back-to-backs, could be a little bit worn down. Second of back-to-back road games as well. And Jake Ottinger, like I said, back for the Stars. They haven't been playing great hockey over the last couple of games. But I like them in a bit of a get-right spot here. Shout out to our friends at Betway, 19+. Please play responsibly. A lot of viewers today on the show.
Any NFL picks, Tyler?
Oh, thank you for reminding me. NFL picks on the year. Since the start of Oilers Nation Everyday, I'm up 4 units on my NFL recommended plays. I got 3 of them this weekend. Kansas City minus 9.5 versus Jacksonville. I think Jacksonville might be due for a little regression here. I know they've been playing all right, but Chiefs at home, this weather too, getting close to winter. Jacksonville coming from a warm climate. Come on. I like the Chiefs minus 9.5, although it pains me as a Bills fan. Travis Kelce over 6.5 receptions. Jacksonville gives up some of the biggest numbers to tight ends in the entire NFL. And Jalen Waddle over 67.5. He's hit it in 4 straight. Not only is he hit it, he's gone 80+ yards in 4 in a row. Jalen Waddle over 67.5 is my third bet. You like anything on the NFL slate?
I was looking at one in particular, and it's the London. Actually, it's the Munich game. They're in Munich, right,
Germany.
this weekend? Munich, Germany. I'm going Seattle on the spread. plus 2.5, minus 105. Seattle are a very good team this season, very surprisingly. Tampa Bay just haven't been good. I'm just kind of feeling the hot hand in Seattle here. And Geno Smith on his redemption tour, I might even take them on the money line, to be honest. There is no home field advantage here on that.
Yeah.
No fan advantage. I might run the risk. Plus 130 on the money line for Seattle to win that game.
Interesting.
Division leaders.
I still just... They are division leaders, and that's a good point. And Tampa Bay has been brutal. So, yeah, they did get that big win against LA last week, and I wonder if Brady and the boys are just going to maybe pick up the pace a little bit now and start to get on a bit of a run. But not a terrible spot at all. Seattle's been underlooked all season. All right, that's going to be a wrap on today's show. We're going to be back tomorrow, though. It's a matinee, 2 o'clock Mountain Time puck drop between the Oilers and Panthers Saturday afternoon. Myself, Liam, Jay, will be back with a Short for Giant Game Day edition of the show from right here in the Sports Closet studio, sportscloset.ca. Thanks to everyone who was active in the chat. Remember, if you ever miss a show, we are available as a podcast. If you head to the description on today's episode on YouTube, you can see the Apple and the Spotify links. Click those, hit the follow along button. Make sure you're subscribed to us on YouTube as well, and then you'll get little notifications whenever we go live with these shows. It's a win-win for everybody. Thanks for tuning in today. We'll be back tomorrow. Enjoy your Friday night, Oilers fans.